Scourge as an alacrity DPS is highly underrated in my opinion. It provides heavy barrier while doing great damage and of course permanent alacrity, while also giving the ability to having condition cleanses and some rather flexible skills like revive or Aegis. So in this video I will tell you how to play this build. I'm Summer and let's jump right in. Let's start with the gear. It's really simple. You will want to run full Viper on your trinkets and on your weapons. And on your armor you want to run full Ritualist gear, so that you get enough concentration for 100% upkeeping of alacrity. And you want to run Trapper Rune with that, just to get the most damage you can. So a lot of condition damage from the Trapper Rune and of course some condition duration. You want to run Relic of the Fractal. It's simply a DPS increase, you don't have to do anything special, just do your typical rotation, so to say, and you get the maximum damage from this relic. Nothing changes. And if you can afford infusions, you should go for Malign infusions because they give you condition damage. For food, you want to run the meaty Asparagus Skewers because they give you more torment duration and some condition damage, and either the tuning icicles or the, let's say, equivalent utility consumables, just for maximum damage. And you can see that my torment duration is really high, 80%, and my bleeding duration is also very high. And the boon duration is enough to upkeep 100% alacrity. So on your weapons, you will want to run bursting sigils in the main hands, and in the offhand, you will only take the torch, so you have only one offhand, which is with torment sigil. So you have pistol and scepter on your weapon swap, and only one torch, which is shared between those spots. Okay, that's it for the, let's say, gear. And now to the traits. So these are the typical condition alacrity Scourge traits, and there is nothing special here. You have curses for damage, more bleeding, some fury and precision, and some more condition damage based on the precision, really good, and some crit chance increase. And then you get this. This is actually really important for your build. We get to the, let's say, key skills here later, but this transfers two conditions after you go in Shroud. Shroud is your F5 Sandstorm Shroud here. So this is the gimmick of, let's say, Scourge. You don't have a real Necromancer life death shroud, so to say. You have just this big barrier skill, which will function as the shroud in traits. So you will send two conditions after you activate this. And by activating it, you also do damage around you, and this also can trigger the plague sending directly. And you have Master of Corruption, so it reduces the recharge of the corruption skills which are Blood's Power and Plague Lance. But also they will give you some additional conditions on yourself, which is good if you combine it with Plague Sending, because then you can even do more damage because you damaged yourself, but you will send the condition to your enemy. And then we have this skill, really, really powerful, especially in PvE, because it will, if you condition damage, straight up 200, and it will change your scepter skill 3 to be more powerful. But, and that's the, let's say, very important part here, it will increase the duration of conditions of your scepter skills. And that might seem weird because we are at 80% or even more blood and bleeding and torment, let's say, condition duration, but this increases the base duration. So even though, so this will be applied first and then the 80% come into play. So you get a huge amount of more bleeding application. So if you see here, 27.75 seconds of bleeding. If I don't use this trait, 18 seconds. So it will give me a huge amount of increase, and that's especially important for this skill, of course, because this is the hard-hitting one. So now you also have Soul Reaping for your life force generation, so more life force. Your shroud skills have lower recharge, which means more damage and more, let's say, barrier application. And then you have more life force maximum. Then your shroud skill 1 inflicts vulnerability. Okay, nice, some vuln. And then you get more damage every time you use this skill. It's almost permanently without alacrity, and then it's permanently with alacrity, so yeah, nothing special. And then you get Doomfire. On Scourge it's actually nerfed, it has only 1 second into ICT. So it will, every Shroud skill 1 will apply burning, which is really important to upkeep some burning as well, so be aware this also does burning. And now to Scourge, which is the important trait line to be able to upkeep alacrity, of course. So you get some increase to burning damage and also some expertise based on your condition damage. Nice damage. This is also very important. You get a concentration expertise when you have an active shade, and it's actually a large amount because you need expertise for damage and concentration for rune upkeep. So if I have an active shade, I have 99% healing duration and 95% torment duration, which is really important. Then you want to run this, of course. So the Desert Shroud becomes Sandstorm Shroud, which is really important for your alacrity application because it will pulse some barrier around you, which each pulse will give alacrity, and the last one gives alacrity. This is because of this trait. Because every time you apply barrier to you or your ally, they will get alacriity for almost 2 seconds. So it's your main way to apply alacrity, your only way for that matter. So you have to apply a lot of alacrity via the barrier constantly. So you have to constantly spam barrier, which is not only good for alacrity, but also it's like healing, or let's say protecting your allies from hits, which is really strong and I find really underrated in most parties because it's releasing some pressure off your healer, and you might be even be able to run one or no healer at all, for example on Fractals or something. Really strong. And that's it for the traits. Now to the important skills. So your Scepter Auto Attack is actually really strong, especially the last one, so always try to finish this. And the 2 and the 3 are really, really strong. The 3 gives also a lot of life force, and this also converts 3 boons into conditions on your foe, so you have some corruption there as well. The 2 gives some, the 4 gives some life force, and the 5 is CC, and also some heavy damage and smite generation for you and your party. Really good. And then just some ranged hits and some stun on this, so quite a lot of damage on your pistol as well. Be aware that a lot of skills of almost, let's say, 80% or something of the damage can be done ranged, which is really nice. And you also can apply a lot of your barrier ranged, which is also very important because sometimes you have to do a mechanic or something and then you still can upkeep some alacrity. Then your healing skill is this, because it gives some barrier application and also some damage. You don't use that in a rotation typically, but if you need more healing, you can, or more barrier and alacrity, you can pop that. So if you want to, let's say, overstack the alacrity a bit because you have to do a mechanic later, you can just do that. Then very important skill, Blood is Power. It will deal heavy damage and self-bleed you and torment. So if you send it afterwards with your F5, you will deal even more damage. Very important. So always do that combo. Blood is Power and then Sandstorm Shroud. And this slot is rather flexible as well as this one. In most situations, I would say this one is really strong because it gives you passive life force to easily spam your F skills, but you can swap that out if you don't feel like you need it or some other skills. So also the active is really strong. It sacrifices some of your health, but you will resurrect an ally. And the Serpent Siphon is good because you apply some barrier and some H's, so you get alacrity to your allies, and the H's is really nice if you, for example, need a block, for example on Demos or something. You can block as a necromancer, which is really uncommon before. So be aware of that skill. If you want to swap skills, you have the ability application, which is a little bit difficult to land because you have to walk over your allies to apply it, but okay, it's something. And then you have even the portal. It's not as strong as the Mesmer portal, but it's still good. And you also have some projectile denial if you want with this skill, quite a long actually, quite a lot of uptime. And of course you have epidemic if you need to cleave some ads. If you need more boon corruption, you can run this. And very important, spectral grasp for heavy CC if you stand in the target and you have some more targets to hit with. So if there are ads around, it will deal more CC. It's also very good, for example, on Bone Skinner to pull in the ads. And if you don't have to run anything else, you can run Signet of Spite to just increase your damage. And also summon Shadow Fiend, because both of them are just damage skills. They don't provide anything else. And of course, you can also run the Wells if you need more utility. But in general, I would say this setup is really nice, not that hard to play. And then you have, of course, Plague Lance, really strong. A lot of conditions and a lot of damage. Always use this. If you don't need the CC of the summon Flesh Golem. So the Flesh Golem has really heavy hitting CC. So if you really need that much CC, you can run it. But you will lose quite a lot of damage by doing so. So that's it for the skills. Now to the Scourge specific skills, and then to the rotation. So yeah, F1 will summon the Shade. It has some short cooldown, but it is important to always upkeep one at least, because they give you more concentration and expertise. So really important. Then your F2 you can cast off cooldown. It's if you have enough life force, that is. It will cleanse a condition from your party and you. Really strong. He targets it, that is. And then you have your F3. It's really important because it's your main skill that you will also spam to upkeep to Alacrity, as well as the F5, because both of them give barrier. F5 also does some damage and gives fury, gives protection and stuff. So it's really important to do this. It also at the end converts boons into conditions. So you have a lot of corruption with this build. So all your punishment skills will also corrupt. So you have a lot. So be aware of that. Then your F4 you won't use in a typical rotation because it's a nice CC skill if you need it, and it costs a lot of life source, so you typically don't want to waste your life force on it, but if you have enough life force you can also spam it and don't need the CC. So the typical rotation is really easy actually. So you just have to let's say see which skills are really important, and the really important skills are Scepter 3 and 2. So you always want to cast first Scepter 3 and then Scepter 2. And then you do some filler skills while you're in Scepter. So filler skills would be 4, 5 and of course auto attack. But if you start the auto attack chain, you should always try to finish it, because the last hit is the most important one by far. And of course filler skills also include some utility skills like Sand Flare or Serpent Siphon, because both of them give alacrity and are damage loss. But if you need more alacrity or barrier, or for example even Aegis or Boon Corrupt, you can use those skills. This one you should not use, only if you really need to resurrect. And always use Plague Lance of cooldown. And be aware that Plague Lance gives you also some condition on yourself. You should try to cleanse it first before doing the combo of Blood is Power and Sandstorm Shroud, which is also a filler skill. So you will always try to do it between the event when the 2 and 3 skills are off cooldown. And then you, let's say, continue with your filler skills. And on the pistol, you have the same, let's say, idea, just that the 2 skill is stronger than the 3 skill. So we will want to try to use this off cooldown, and then this whenever it's ready. And in between, use filler skills. So, like I said, the most important combo is to use Blood is Power when you don't have any conditions, and after that use directly Sandstorm Shroud. You can also do it while you cast Bloodless Power, because it will give you the buff and instantly transfer your conditions. But be careful. If you get hit and your enemies apply some conditions to you, you will waste it then. And you should spam your F2 if you have it, and always try to upkeep 1 shade. The 3 skill also spam. Both of them you should try to be careful to not waste your life first. So here's a clip of me doing the rotation. For the opener you want to start with Manifest Sand Shade, instantly do Plague Lance and Sand Cascade. Meanwhile you do Bloodless Power and transfer the conditions via doing Sandstorm Shroud. And then you can do Pistol 2 and Pistol 3, F2 skill, and swap to your Scepter. And then you are in your loop. And like I said, the loop is always, if you're on Scepter, 3-2 if they are off cooldown. Do some filler skills, and if they come off cooldown, you do 3 and 2 again. And then you weapon swap, so you have to do it, let's say, the 3 and 2, you do each of them twice, swap your weapon, and do your 2 and 3 on your pistol, and do filler skills. Wait until the 2 is off cooldown, do it again, and then you do another round of filler skills, and then you do the 2 and 3 again when both of them are off cooldown, and then you weapon swap and repeat the whole process. So it's a really easy rotation. You see most of your skills because there are, let's say, only 2 or 3 skills hidden every time, and so you know all your cooldowns, and that's it. So if you liked this guide and found it helpful, please consider leaving a like. If you want to see more build guides like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.